This week on Pull House Black Pot Weekend Getaways, we're starting off with breakfast. An old English recipe from the 1600s, toad in a hole. And we're going to give you a tour of this wonderful campground, so stick around.
I think they're done, hon. Well, good morning, everybody. Hey, good morning, Angel.
I'm doing my hairbrush.
It's a little brisk out here this morning. I just got coffee brewed. I think it's about ready. Yeah, I think it's about ready. We hope you liked last week's video for part 1 here at Lake of the Ozarks State Park. Another one of Missouri's wonderful, beautiful state parks. Yeah, it's pretty cool out this morning. Cool front came through and it's clouded up. You know, shot here. Pretty breezy, but luckily we're kind of down here sheltered by some of the trees, so we're not getting quite so much wind. But we're gonna, as soon as we get us a little coffee in us, we're gonna start off our morning with a new breakfast item that we have never tasted or done before. We saw it on let's see, what was it, a tasting
History.
Yeah, it's called,
What was that guy's name?
Tasting History. I think his name is Max Miller. So, got a neat,
It's 1800s, isn't it?
I think so. It's a
Recipe.
neat, he's got a neat lot of history that goes along with these recipes, and so we started watching him recently, but we really like it. Iris says good morning. Say good morning, Iris. What? Say good morning. I'm not gonna talk now on camera. All right, so we're gonna get us some coffee, regroup, and we're gonna start off our breakfast with a recipe called Toad in a Hole. Okay, the first step, we got to get the batter made. Now this batter is kind of a thin batter, I think, from what I saw on the video we watched. And it starts...
Now he's got a cookbook too, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. It starts with... Well, we're going to cut the recipe down. The recipe is for actually a 9x13 or a 12-inch Dutch oven, and it uses about a pound of meat. But we're going to do just 2 of us. We didn't figure we need near that much, so we're going to cut it down. So the recipe, we'll probably post it. We're going to post a full recipe, hon, on the internet, on our video.
I don't know.
We'll figure out something.
We'll figure it out.
But for this one, we're going to use 2 eggs. And it says to whisk the eggs pretty good until they're kind of fluffy. These are whole eggs, of course, we put in here.
You might have needed the mixer.
That's okay. It doesn't have to be real. It just said fluffy, kind of. So we'll mix them together. Now, I don't know if you've ever had what is called Yorkshire pudding. I think this batter, supposedly, the whole idea is supposed to be a little bit like Yorkshire pudding, which we've never had either, but we've kind of seen internet. Okay, now, to this, actually, we got to put this aside. Sorry. Okay. Look at my instructions. So we put it in our phone. That code sets aside for a minute. In this mixing bowl, bigger bowl, I actually put in 1 cup of flour, and it said to sift it because it's kind of a delicate batter. So I went ahead and sifted it, and we're doing a pinch of salt. Okay. There's a pinch of salt. Now we're going to incorporate this together. Let's see if I can find a wooden spoon here. There we go. Okay. Okay, so we've got that done. Now it says to make a well in the middle of our flour and other mixture. We're going to pour in our eggs. Okay, pour eggs in. Okay. Now, before I start mixing, we have to add, now this is where it kind of weird, because we went from 3 eggs to 2 eggs, and a cup and a half of flour to a cup of flour. So, and then it was like a cup and a quarter of milk, so which makes like 5/6 of a cup of milk. So it makes it a little bit weird when we cut it down to this. So we're gonna go a little shy of 1 cup, and then we'll kind of see how it turns out. Okay, so you start by incorporating your eggs and your flour in there, and then when it kind of gets thick, you start adding in our milk. Okay, so we add our milk in a little bit at a time and get everything started.
He's got a cookbook out too, doesn't he, honey?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I've seen pictures of it.
Now we're going to eat a little bit shy on that milk for a second till we get this mixed in. And like I said, from the video we looked at, it was a thin batter, kind of like pancake, you think, or maybe just a little thinner, maybe closer to a crepe batter. Now it's coming together, and it looks like a little bit thick, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
So we're going to add the rest of this milk. And then now, I'm not an expert on crepes because I haven't made them either. I've just seen videos and pictures of people making them. What do you think? It's about right, hon?
I think
looks
from what that video looked like.
Just a little thinner than an average pancake is what we're going to do. Okay, we're going to call that good. Okay, now he says to just kind of let it sit for a little bit while you get the meat started. So we're going to go ahead, we'll regroup.
This is the meat.
Yep, we're going to use...
And yes, it says Yellowstone on it because it's fully cooked.
Yeah, fully cooked pork sausage links. And this is about a 9-ounce package, so you can use somewhere in there. One of the things that he did was, his recipe actually was an old British recipe, is what this is. And he uses, the recipe he found uses pork, no, excuse me, instead of pork sausage, he uses chunks of beef. So he used that in it, but I've seen other recipes when we looked online where they actually used pork sausage links. And I thought, well, that sounds like a good breakfast item. So that's what we're doing, rather than having it something for supper or dinner or lunch. We're going to make it for breakfast with the pork sausage. So we're going to regroup, get a fire cooking, going, and we'll get these kind of browned off, and then we'll go from there. So we'll be right back. Okay. Charcoal is cooking in the flue, so I'm going to get my lid out of the way for a minute. Don't need that yet. We're doing a 10-inch deep Dutch oven. Not that we probably needed deep, that's what we've been. It's only when we got to this camper. We're going to set that on. We're going to put just a little bit of oil to get our sausage started. Not too much. Recipe calls for about a tablespoon of oil in your oven, because that oil that's nice and hot is what you have to use.
Oh, you need those, dear?
That's what I need to be able to make that work. So we're going to open these up, add these to our oil. Let these brown off a little bit. You probably wouldn't have to do this step since they are fully cooked, but why not? Okay. All right, honey, want that? Okay. Now let's let them cook a minute. Now, if you were doing some other type of bigger sausage lengths of different varieties. I'm sure this would be good with lots of different ones. We don't know because we never made it yet, but you certainly could try that. But I would make sure that if you're doing something that's raw, you start, and I would cook it, you know, till it's mostly done at this step before you went ahead and went to the baking process, just to make sure that they're good and done.
Pretty hot.
They bake pretty hot for 30 minutes, 425 degrees for 30 minutes. So
we'll be back when we're ready to add the rest of it.
Yeah, we're back in a few minutes. Okay, Angel, come in here. Looky there, nice and browned off.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna grab my gloves because that probably is hot. I'm gonna pull this. We're gonna, before I do that though, we gotta, it says to pull these out, set them aside a minute. This is what we're gonna do. Okay. Then we make sure that there's good stuff up on the side. So what we're gonna do is grab my, I'm gonna add a tiny bit more oil.
Iris, you stay out of that. See her? Oh, she's gonna act all innocent now.
Now what we're going to do is, it says to make sure that you get oil all the way carefully up on the sides of your Dutch or your pan. We're doing a Dutch oven. Try not to spill any out. Okay. Now, let's set it right there. We're going to get this off.
Good. You see her? Iris, May, get out of there.
Being silly. Yeah. Okay. Get my gloves out of the way. Now. All right, here we go. Last step. Time to bake. You pour this in. Should start cooking right away. Now you noticed an interesting fact about this. There was no baking powder, baking soda, anything like that. So your only leavening agent, of course, is our eggs. Well, that's kind of interesting. Okay, now we strategically place our sausages back in. Close enough. Okay. Lid goes on. Gloves back on. Now we're going to leave this wind guard on, so Hank's going to use the GoPro to get a better angle. Because the wind's blowing pretty good, so. Okay.
Yes, it is.
Now, it says 425 degrees for 30 minutes. So we're going to put our normal, we're going to actually went to 26 to get it good and hot. We're going to do our 8 on the bottom. Since we're preheated. I got to sneak back here and get some in. And we're still only going to do them, of course, around the outside edge.
And why is that?
Because that center is hot already. No matter what you do, you're going to have that heat transferring, drawing into the center. So no matter what you rotate, you're still going to have that hot spot in the center. So now we make our full ring around the outside. We're going to place a couple in the middle also. I think I'm going to put one more small one on the bottom. We had there. Okay. Now, one thing it said that is very important, so that this doesn't fall until it's pretty much, until when it gets done, is you do not lift the lid for that 30 minutes. So hopefully we got the heat right, because 30 minutes we'll know it's either done or not done or maybe burnt. So hopefully
Now you're going to turn this like normal.
Yeah, it does brown and it gets kind of cakey. So we will go ahead and brown it because we want to make sure that we have a nice brownness all over it, and there's nothing like liquid that's swimming around in there. So yes, we will rotate it every 10 minutes. So we've got 10 minutes rotated, and hopefully in 30 minutes it'll be time to eat breakfast. All right, see you then. Now it said, the recipe, do not lift the lid. So we're going to carefully spin the lid without lifting it up. And that is a nice thing about large cast iron. They sit together smooth and seal good, and you can still spin them though because they fit nice. So 10 more minutes, we'll rotate the second time. Okay, it's been 30 minutes. Now, I was a little concerned, and you said, let's not worry about it, because at 15 minutes it had a pretty good amount of steam coming up on the lid, which means it was cooking pretty good, but it is supposed to cook pretty hard. Okay, let's see if it's done.
Oh, ho, ho.
Look at there. It poofed up real good in the center, but it's gonna settle, and then maybe, you know, for a few minutes.
Now this isn't like the toad and hole we're used to, is
Yeah,
it?
that was the first time when we saw this. It was only about a few weeks ago, and when he said toad in the hole, it's like, oh, sounds good, but then we got to looking at the picture. I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't look right.
No.
So when we got to talking,
toad? Where's the hole?
So we got to talking about it. He said that the traditional British toad in the hole is just like we just made. But what you might be familiar with is a piece of toast, and you cut a center out, and you put it in a skillet, and you put an egg in there.
What's that called in Britain?
That is eggs in a basket, or egg in a basket. You only put one egg in it. Yeah, egg in a basket instead of toad in the hole. So,
well, we're gonna serve this up and show it to you,
and see how we like it. All right, we'll be right back. Gotten kind of nasty out here. I had to put my hood up. It's misting.
Yeah, it's misting. It's all right though. We're camping.
Good.
We ain't gonna complain about weather. Wet weather.
It's a little, might have to cut it. It's not real, kind of crusty on top. Doesn't look like it's gonna be bad. There you go.
That's kind of different.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, and it didn't overcook at all.
Well, they said it might be just a little bit doughy on top, a little doughy inside, but
I think it's gonna be a lip burner.
it's good. Let's see, huh? Not bad.
It's different. So,
now one thing that was traditionally served with this, I think, with the when they use the sausage, is onion gravy.
yeah.
And Angel's not a fan of onions at all, so we didn't even try the onion gravy. But all right, Angel had a neat idea. If you like the savory sweet together, this would probably be good
With honey.
with some honey on it too. So
That's what I'm gonna do.
it's a pretty neat. Yeah, this is good. I think you
It is good.
You gotta try this. It's a good. I think it's gonna be a keeper. First time we've ever made it. Definitely even the first time we've ever tasted it too.
Yeah,
So it turned out good. So
we've looked at it, something similar to this.
we were looking for some breakfast ideas.
Yeah.
So if you got some breakfast ideas, so we
Please
can try
send them our way.
Yeah, send them our way. We're looking for more breakfast
We've run out. So
breakfast plans.
we've got stuff we're gonna do today,
Yep.
and we'll see you when we get
All
there.
right, we're gonna enjoy this, and then we'll get to doing something else. Okay, we had breakfast, and it's trying to do some misting rain, so we're gonna jumped in the truck here, and we're going to try to see if we can't take a little tour of the campground and give you a little bit more information about how it is. So you hold on a second, we'll see what we can find. Okay, down there, you couldn't probably see it, but there was the amphitheater.
Yeah, hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Now this campground has 4 different sections, right, Angel?
I think that's
And,
right. We're in section 2.
Yeah, we're camping in section 2. Right now we're going through section 3. Down at the bottom of the hill down by the lake will be in section 4. And that one has most of the 50 amp service, and I think it's full service. I don't know if it's full service or not. I haven't looked to see if it's sewer or not. But I know there's 50 amp down there. Might be a few 50. There's some 50 amp up here in section 3. We just passed one.
Ozarks State Parks have full service. None of them.
I don't know if they do or not, but I don't think that's some of them have maybe some areas that have water hookups, but
Let's go down here. Right there.
you look down here, I think, yeah, all these along the lake right in front here are primitive sites, no electric, but they're beautiful view of the lake. But unfortunately the lake is pretty darn low, lowest we've seen it in a long time, isn't it, Angel?
Yeah, let's get back on.
There's actually a lake, I don't know the exact number, but I think the numbers go up to like 182.
Well, that about does it for this weekend getaways. If you liked this video, please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share us on Facebook or Instagram or whatever your social media is. We leave you tonight with our campfire. Thank you for watching. See you next week.